it just clicked. Where I was like, bro, I truly look at life differently than others. And it's like, we all do. Like, we all look at life through our own perspective. But that perspective, like, life is based on our perspective. So, and it just hit me like I truly look at life like it's just one giant psychedelic trip. Now, a lot of people look at life like it's one giant psychedelic trip, but because I've used psychedelics shamanically, it made it so then the psychedelic trip that life is one giant shamanic journey, one giant soul journey, where it's like it just clicked. It's like, oh, this is why that old saying where they used to say that life is like earth is like a school where souls come to learn. And it's like, I get it. Like, you come here to learn and grow. Like it makes sense to me because I look at life like it's one giant spiritual journey. Like, because that's another word for it. Like, I think shamanically, so I say the word shamanic, but other people might understand it better when it's like, no, it's one giant spiritual journey because we are spirits inside of the body. And because we're like, we mistake it and we think we're human, but we're the spirit, we're the soul, we're the energy that runs the human body. The consciousness that's truly inside, where it's like when you're thinking and imagining and like like if you imagine a red apple or a whatever the fuck, whatever you like can imagine, like that's you that's imagining that. This is just a machine that allows us to be in the physical world. And it's like, it just clicked, bro, that I truly, like, I don't say shit that I don't believe. But, like, because I truly believe this shit, I've lived this shit, it became life to me. So, my perspective on things is just different. So, like, I look at going through life problems like, fuck yeah, bro, bring me more pain. Because the pain has always just made me better, stronger, wiser. Like, whatever I go through in life, it makes me better. And because I look at it through a shamanic lens, so I'm like, well, I went through this breakup, I was able to, figure out what's wrong with me. And not on some like sad shit, but on some like, no, like, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from the bad? What can I learn from the good? What can I, like, all of this? Because it's like, what can my soul get out of this experience? What can my soul get out of life? Like, I'm a father, but I practice conscious parenting, where, like, I have a certain parenting style that works for me based off of the goal I wanted. And it's like, what's your goal out of your life? Like, that's and it, like, this is literally just what I be thinking about. That's why I live the way I do. That's why I do shit and say shit that other people are like, bro, that's fucking crazy. Like, you done lost your mind. And it's like, yeah, to you, because I now have a different perspective on the thing. So your perspective is like, I've lost my mind because I say things or do things that people are like, yo, bro, that's crazy. What the fuck you mean you'd rather be a homeless man on the street? Like, what the fuck do you mean, bro? Like, I've it's been said, but it's like, well, what I mean is that I have a different idea of what actually is success and what actually life is because of my spiritual journey. I look through a spiritual lens. Whatever your thing is, and the problem is there is no right or wrong way, right? Like, but there's so many people that have tried to tell me that I'm doing it the wrong way. That, like, I should focus on this first, and then I should do this first. And this is what you do after the breakup. You gotta fuck some bitches. And it's like, no, bro. I became abstinent and I focused completely on myself. Like, I focused on healing myself, building myself, healing my mental health, strengthening my mind, figuring out what do I want out of life, starting to think more consciously about things and make conscious decisions and conscious eating and conscious living and conscious parenting and conscious just I just wanted to be more conscious, more aware, more I want to see what I'm made of. Like, what am I capable of type shit. Where it's like, because I look at this like it's a spiritual journey, I look at it like I can't really fail. Like, because failure is just lessons. And if you learn the lessons in the failures, it's not really a failure. It's just a stepping stone that can get you one step closer to whatever you're trying to succeed at. But, like, for me, the success of life is death. That's from a spiritual perspective. It's like, what's the end destination? Like, people are like, oh, I want to do this in my life and this. I mean, that's great, but we're all gonna die. Like, that's the end destination of all of us. And like, yeah, it's scary, but it doesn't have to be, because we all got to go through it. So it's like, you're never alone in that situation. But like, I don't know. I just look at life through this spiritual perspective. So I'm like, well, this is what I want to do. This is like, this is who I want to be. Like, I knew who I wanted to be before I became who I am. Like, who I am today, I knew I wanted to be this 8 years ago. 8, 9 years ago, when I was still that gangster thug dude. Like, I knew who I wanted to be, because that was the whole shock of me realizing who I am. Like, that's why I always say becoming conscious, like in the beginning of becoming conscious, it sucks balls, because you become consciously aware that you are not who you think you are. Or at least that's what happened to me. And like, shit, I thought I was this version of me. Like, I was wrong. And I figured that out. And then I figured out I was lost. I didn't know who I was. There was this whole fucking thing. But everyone has their own thing. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just think that if we become conscious and then learn how to focus on our thing, we can then, like, build the self or get the thing you want out of life or do the thing. But it's all based off of your perspective of what you like. We could both be chasing the same thing, but if our perspective is different, then it's different. So if you think this is what you're supposed to do in life, and I think this is what you're supposed to do in life, which is a completely different thing, then it's like, none of us are wrong. You might be right for your life, and I might be right for my life. Like, it's just what is. But you might be wrong for your life, and I might be wrong for my life. Like, there's the possibility of being wrong. There's the possibility of failing. There's the possibility of going down the wrong path. There's the possibility of all that. But I think it's all just part of life. Because I look at life through this shamanic perspective, I'm like, bro, I love bad trips. Because they're not bad. The bad trip is just when it starts to get spiritual on you, when you didn't want it to get spiritual on you. Right? So, like, I don't know, bro. It's just, this shit's some real shit. And I literally believe in this. So it affects the way I live and think. Like, people that believe in Christianity, or people that believe in Islam, people that believe, like, the Muslim religion, like, all of this, whatever religion you do, it technically starts to affect you as a person a little bit, right? Like, your beliefs start to affect you as a person. And for me, I audit my beliefs, like I audit myself, but that was part of the journey to me, which was just building myself. So a lot of people think the most important thing is they want to live a good life, but my perspective of a good life is actually different than other people's perspective. If I told people what I think living a good life meant, then they'd be like, oh no, I don't really think like that. Never thought about that. Like, it's just, and that's just my perspective. Their perspective is their perspective. And nobody's wrong. It's just we are inside of our own perspectives. Like, you're inside of your own thing. Like, I don't know. So, like, because the whole world is just mind. It's thoughts. It's ideas. Like, and the ideas that you believe will technically put you in a different world, even if we're in the same room together. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy. So, like, perspectives are everything.